Hello, everybody. This is the Paint by Numbers System Real Estate Edition. This is Module 1, and I'm Brian Anderson. I want to welcome you to our training, welcome you to this call, and let's begin. I'm excited to share everything with you. This will kind of give you a lay of the land and get things started. So, what is Paint by Numbers? What are we doing here? Why should you be as excited as I am? So, Paint by Numbers is our attempt at demystifying the basics of landing clients and generating results in a certain niche. So specifically, when we look at real estate or realtors, we're going to talk all about how can you very easily and very rapidly land realtors as clients, how can you fulfill for them, everything you need to know, and nothing you don't need to know. And even better is, we're going to show you everything we say we're going to back up with social proof. So it's not just theory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of share everything, all of our secrets, so to speak, so that you guys can do exactly what we do in our office. Like, I'm sitting in my office now getting ready to ramp up the day here. And what I want you to know is that any one of you, I don't care if you're new or you've been around 5, 10, 15 years, can penetrate the real estate niche, can land clients, and can generate a very real income within a matter of days. And we're going to reveal everything here with screenshots and audio files, everything you could want, and you can just literally lift exactly what we're doing and copy it. So that is what we're going to do, and I think you're going to love everything as we go through it. Not an agenda, but just some idea on what you're going to see is how to find leads, both email and phone, how to prospect them, what to say, so to speak, right? Landing realtors as clients. This is a big one. How do you land a realtor as a client, whether you have to meet them or not? How do you do it? How do you do it quickly, effectively, and in a way that scales? All right. Then we're going to talk about fulfilling, because once you get a client, you actually have to do something so they stay a client. And we're going to talk all about what you can do, what they actually want, and how to do it really simply. We're going to get into pricing. We're going to talk a little, we're going to do a live call. I won't do this pre-recorded. We'll do sales interaction, what to say, what not to say. We'll go into tracking and then billing and invoicing. And under tracking, we're going to talk about tracking calls, but also tracking deals. So that is where we're headed with the program. I'm excited. Feel free to move to Module 2. This gives you a good lay of the land, and you're able to understand exactly what we're doing here at our Paint by Number Realtor Edition. So anyway, join me in the next edition. If you have any questions, you're also, please, at the top of the members area, you should see an invite into our private Facebook group. Please join in the Facebook group, ask questions, share your knowledge, and then pick up from not only myself, but other people here. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next training. Bye-bye. Hi, welcome to the call. This is Paint by Numbers Real Estate Edition. This is our overview of the real estate niche. So once again, this is Brian Anderson. I welcome you to the call. Excited to go through this with you. So let's begin. First and foremost, I guess, the real estate niche is one of the most lucrative out there. There's a lot of angles. There's commercial, there's residential, there's industrial. There's lots of different angles, whether you're dealing with sales, leasing, or property management. There are many, many angles. So let me talk to you specifically on what we're doing with real estate and how you can kind of mimic what we're doing. First, there's over 210,000 companies in the U.S. operating as a broker or a real estate manager. They do $200 billion in revenue. There's another 35,000 that are a commercial broker. So if you look at it, that's 245,000 companies in real estate. Now, let's narrow down. We only work on the residential side right now. So on that top number, the 210,000 companies. Okay, well, let's go from there. The reason we do residential and not commercial is that it is much easier to generate real leads for residential agents than it is for commercial. Commercial is very lucrative. If you can carve out a little niche in that area, you can be very successful. Once again, what we're doing in Paint by Numbers is sharing exactly what we do and how you can emulate without having to kind of redo anything or recreate. So you can see these are just obviously some local realtors and stuff, and these are like the perfect candidates, not to mention the fact that there's 2 million of them just in the United States. So when we break up residential, you got real estate brokerages, you've got leasing outfits, and you got management companies. And we're going to briefly talk about each one. So brokers, now the brokerage is run by a broker, and then there's agents that work for the broker. And what they do is they bring together a buyer and seller, help with negotiating the price, getting all the paperwork done, and marketing the property. So typically the seller of the property pays a commission to the real estate brokers, and it's typically, but not always, but typically split between the buyer's broker and the seller's broker. So a higher price deal is more money than a lower price deal. So a $100,000 property might generate $6,000 in fees, whereas a $400,000 property might generate $24,000 in fees. And so, as you know, the property value depends almost strictly on location. Now, obviously, size and things like that and amenities matter, but location is like the biggest factor. So that's the traditional real estate broker model, where there's brokers that have brokerages and they have sales agents, the typical realtors that we all know, that work for the broker. Now, in the leasing agents work with property owners to handle the process of finding tenants, vetting the tenants out, and getting them signed so that they can then move in and pay a fee to the owner of the property. And they get paid a commission for their work. And then you got management. On the management side, you got people that operate buildings, make sure they're running properly, paying staff, paying utilities, basic maintenance. It could be leasing agents for apartments on the commercial side. In many cases, the management company will also function as the leasing agent. Not every case, but in many cases. So the goal with a management company is to maintain a low vacancy rate. The lower the vacancy rate is, the more money is available. So these are the three different areas on the residential side. We almost exclusively work on the brokerage side. So first, let's talk about how agents are paid. If these 2 million agents are our target, how do they make money? Because once you know how they make money, we can really kind of take this apart. They get commission for the sale of a property. So whenever a property sells, there's a commission generated, and it's typically split between the buyer and the seller's agent. And it actually goes to the broker, and the broker then takes a cut, and then the individual agent then gets the remains. So, and it's typically 5 or 6% of the gross sale. So if it's a $200,000 house and it's 6%, that would be $12,000. And then the two brokers split the $12,000, and then the sales agent who did all the work gets their piece, with the broker taking a piece off the top. Now on the rental side, it's typically 3 to 10% of the annual lease. Common amount is 1 month's payment, and sometimes they spread that 1 month's payment out over time. Just depends on how it's set up when you originally signed the seller or the lessor in this case. So this is how they're paid and how they generate their revenue on the brokerage side, which are our target clients. So how much can they make? How much do they make? Not as much as everybody thinks. The average income, this is according to, where did I get this from? PayScale, updated October of 2016, $46,000 average income. Now the top 20% are earning over 6 figures. Top 10% are earning almost 200K, if not higher, 200K and up. So, but 46 is a median. So kind of keep that in mind on the residential side. It's not like they're all making millions of dollars. So you have to be very conscious of their tolerance for price. So we'll come back to that as we price out our services. All right, next, how many agents are there? We need to understand this. Now, according to ARELO, or Association of Real Estate License Law Officials, there are 2 million active real estate licensees in the U.S. And that's spread across 86,000 residential firms. Now, I pulled some data from the National Association of Realtors, the NAR, and they have 1.2 million members that are members of their association. And to call yourself a realtor, you have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors. Otherwise, I guess you would call yourself a real estate agent. So maybe a slight delineation. But somewhere between 1.2 and 2 million agents are out there actively selling, listing, and helping buyers and sellers, right? So it's a lot of people. I pulled one state, one of the bigger states. This is brand new data from last month. And actively in California, for all you West Coasters, you can see it. A year ago, in October of 15, there was 183,000 agents and then 100,000 brokers. The brokers also sell, so call it 283,000. Now, we're about 290,000. You know, the agents have gone up by 7,000 or 8,000, and the brokers have gone down just a little bit. So you can see there's just an astronomical amount of both agents and brokers. Now, California is one of the biggest states, and the data is just crazy how many agents there are. But what that means is there's a tremendous opportunity because these guys and gals are fighting it out for business. Let's talk about some basic demographics. 65% of realtors are licensed as a sales agent. 73% of all of them specialize in residential. So the vast majority. Now, who's the typical realtor? Kind of fits the stereotype, I hate to admit it. A 53-year-old white female homeowner that has some college. So 60+% are female. The median age is actually 58. Typically, they have 10 years experience for the median. Their tenure at their current firm is about 3 years, and they typically work about 40 hours a week. This is according to a profile put together earlier this year from the National Association of Realtors. I've got some more data out of that. This kind of supports the pay scale data on income, but I thought you'd like to see another source. Median gross income was $39,000 in 2015, down from 45. You can see the education breakdown. Some have graduate degrees, some are only high school degrees. Doesn't matter. You can kind of see it's all over the board. Independent contractor. Vast majority are not W-2 employees. They're 1099 contractors with the firm they're with. All right. Technology. Look at this. About 1 out of 4 or 5 agents and brokers spent $500 to $2,000 on technology. They use iPads, smartphones, and digital cameras. Those are their devices of choice. It could be obviously a Samsung or a Android or iPhone, right? They typically use Windows. iPhone is the most popular, followed very closely by Android. This is all brand new data. 91% of them are using social media. And where are they spending their time online? What sites for their listings? Realtor.com, Zillow, and Trulia. Very important to understand those things. Now, we're going to conclude this module, this little overview of the niche, talking about how much money they spend, because we need to know what they spend so we know what we can make and what we can charge. So $8.9 billion was spent in 2015 on advertising in the residential space. That comes out to about $400 a month for every single licensed agent. What that really means is there's 50% of the agents spend more than $400 a month, and then some spend less. All right. This is recurring data that's come from this Association of Real Estate License Law Officials. There are lots of realtors spending $1,000+ in advertising. So the key, as we're going to show you, is to build value and show that we can deliver what they want, which is leads, new listings, and obviously sales. That's what they're looking for. Okay, thank you for attending this. I look forward to seeing you in the next module, but I think as you get into this and you see exactly what we're doing and you see the results, you're going to get as excited as I am, because whether you believe there's 1.2 million or 2 million, there's a heck of a lot of agents. And if they're averaging 400 a month, that means plenty of them. Hundreds of thousands are spending more than 400 a month, which is a great number. All right, I'll see you in the next module. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paint by Numbers Real Estate. This is building a list, a targeted list to be specific. I'm glad to have you guys here watching and listening with me. Let me walk you through some of the basics. This is more of a foundation type module, and it'll help you understand kind of why we need a list. So let's think about something for a second. Really, we have outbound marketing versus inbound marketing, right? So outbound can be telemarketing, you know, cold calling, all that kinds of stuff, direct mail, trade shows, TV, radio ads, email blasts, print ads. You can add voice drops to outbound marketing as well, for those of you guys that know about our service. Inbound marketing is the traditional realm of the internet marketer. SEO, blogging, social media, content generation, videos, online newsletters, right, that people sign up for. One is interrupt driven. That is outbound marketing. The other one is, let's say more customer centric, where they ask, and that is the inbound side. Now, normally I'm a fan of inbound marketing, but in the case of Paint by Numbers, I'm going to turn to the other side, to the outbound marketing side, specifically email blasts in our voice drop service. So let's talk a little more. So why a list? The whole premise of Paint by Numbers is you're going to use a targeted email and phone list to proactively engage with local realtors. It doesn't have to be local, but in many cases you should start local. So what will happen is you're going to create a list, you're going to reach out to them, and yes, you're going to interrupt them from whatever they may be doing, and the ones that are interested are going to respond to you, in essence raising their hand and showing their interest. Now, without a list, the traditional internet marketing model, you're stuck waiting on realtors to respond to your offer, landing page, Facebook ad, website, video, etc. I'm not saying that's bad, but the whole goal of Paint by Numbers is to rapidly acquire clients, rapidly fulfill. So we have to go with an interrupt-driven model, and we're using email and voice drops. All right? Now, a few of you have already asked, I've seen it in the Q&A box, which one do I need? Email, phone, both? Now, we've tested this, and in the case of realtors or real estate as a niche, we've determined that it is best to market using both emails and voicemails. Some people are going to respond to one, and others are going to respond to the other. So email and or voice drops and both, right? So we really recommend this dual approach of email and phone. Okay. Now, I guess obviously the big question and the next step is where to get the list. Now, our team, the Paint by Numbers team, has actually purchased several large real estate lists, and we're on a subscription with one of them. We're sharing them out to you in the members area at no cost, so that's free. Now, the challenge is this is data that most typically gives us office data and not agent-specific data. Not always, but in most cases. And it's not that it's outdated, it's just that you're not getting, an office may have 150 agents, but you're going into the office email or office voice box in many cases. So what we did is we hired one of our members who's a local developer. This isn't us, but this guy's extremely good. I've vetted him out over multiple years, and he's just 100% reliable, to custom generate fresh realtor cell phone numbers. I'm confident that our emails that we have are going to be good for you guys at no cost, but I've hired this guy and set up an arrangement, so to speak, where you can purchase in the members area, it goes direct to him, doesn't go to me at all, fresh scraped lists the day of your request. So it's completely relevant to what you need, and it's the exact number that they're marketing. You're not relying on static data files. It's as little as $10. It's a little more than Fiverr, not much, but it's 100% guaranteed to be accurate. We've done 20 or 30 tests with this data, over 98% accuracy. It's extremely good. So it's an upcharge. It's available. You don't have to worry about where to go or what to do to get it. You can buy it on demand when you need it. There's no reason you need it right away. But a lot of you are going to hit the ground running in a big way, and you're going to want this data to augment what we're going to give you for free. Now, you can go to Fiverr. We all know that Fiverr is an inexpensive way to get tasks done. The challenge is your mileage is going to vary based on how trustworthy the person is, how competent they are, and a lot of things. So I would avoid Fiverr, use the person that we've already vetted out, because I can guarantee that. I can't guarantee Fiverr. Now, a last option is a software scraper, right? So you can use some kind of software scraper to go after websites. What else? LinkedIn and Facebook. Now, you can absolutely do this. I'm not telling you not to, and this will get you fresh data. Your mileage will vary based on your product and your skill level, but that's an option. For those of you that want the easy route, take the free stuff we're going to give you, option 1, which is in the members area, and option 2, you're going to want the premium quality stuff. I'm using that one myself. It's really good. I would do these too. For those of you that are really savvy and comfortable and you have some great tools, you're probably going to be very comfortable using your own product. Things like Lead Kahuna, Profit Renegade, Lead Automator 360, any of the tools that some of you may have bought on and off the last 5-6 years. But anyway, this is where you can get the list, and the quality of the list will directly affect your results. So it's important not to skimp here. It's important to create, buy, borrow, whatever it may be, your targeted real estate list. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. I'm going to move to the next module. I'm keeping these very short so that they're actionable. You can get this task done, and you can move on to the next step. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next module. Hello, everybody. This is Brian Anderson, Paint by Numbers, and I'm here to share a few cool things with you. This is our client acquisition module. This is all about what the heck are we doing, how are we getting results, etc. So let me begin by kind of getting this thing started. So, from an overview. The acquisition is pretty simple. All of us want and need clients, right? But we complicate it. We create too many steps that get in the way of our success. The easiest system in the world is when customers, in this case realtors, will call you or email you. It's one of the two or both. Both is the right answer. So for prospects in our email funnel, if they have a choice of email or calling, they will email you back. It seems to happen the most. For prospects in our voice drop funnel, they will call you back directly. And we're going to share and show you some more stuff as we move on. All right, so 7 easy steps, right? Create list. You guys were all with me on the create list call. Buy it, build it, borrow it, whatever you need to do. But we go into, 1, we provide you a list, but 2, a way to get an even more higher powered, fresh custom list. So you need a list. 2nd, you're going to send a voice drop. And 3rd, ideally, you're going to send an email blast. So, and you can think of these as separate, but you need to do both. You want to send voice drops and you want to send email drops or email blasts to land clients. You're then going to take calls or answer emails, depending on the two. You're going to send a proposal. I've included a sample in the resources section for you. You're going to follow up and you're going to close your deals. I mean, it's that easy. I know it sounds hard and it sounds like I'm making it easy. It's really not. There's no complicated model or method going on here. It is exactly what I'm saying. Okay. So, in the terms of emails, I've included in the members area 1 email for a simple blast and many voicemail scripts. I've also included a multi-touch email sequence to use. I think I talk about it on another slide. The emails are based around templates that I've been using for several years. They work. They get people to respond. The body text is good as opposed to hypey internet marketing stuff. The voice drop scripts have all been tested very recently, anywhere between 15 and 45 days in the real estate niche. Every single one of them. None of these are rehashed. They were all custom generated and split tested with real realtors. Is that a word? With live realtors in many markets, 10 plus markets. So that is all available in the course. Here's some of the subject lines we're using. You're welcome to use these or tweak them. Case study realtor generates 21 phone calls in 72 hours. So numbers are always good, 21 and 72, right, in case study. 5 homeowners, number, per day call you to value their home. They like that. Open house, another industry word, right? They like this. New strategy drives dozens of buyers to your open house. They love that. And then the last one, automated system has first-time home buyers, which is a market most realtors love to go after, calling you about listings. So these are some of the email subject lines. Now, I've got all, in the resources section, I've got one-off email and email sequences for you to use. Here's just a sample. First name. I enjoyed talking to you about our voicemail marketing solution for real estate. This is one of our follow-up emails. I understand you're busy, blah, 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 and I go on to kind of net it out. So this is all available in the members area for you to use. You can tweak it as you would like, use it as is, etc. There's not much for you to do. Now, if you look here on this screen, you'll see email campaign. To the left of that blue arrow, you'll see email campaign and email campaign multi-touch follow-up. Campaign is the one-off bulk email, and follow-up is a multi-step to try to squeeze results out of people that ignored you the first or second or even third time. So they're both there, and you can just take them and run with them, right? Subject lines, everything, you're ready to go. You may ask next, how did it work out? I'm not going to tell you get 50% open rates on emails because we don't. These are cold emails. I have no connection to them at all, and it's strictly based on subject lines. So we get between 5 and 20%. On the couple I'm going to show you here, I'm not going to give you the highest number. So this is a 14.3% on several thousand. I think it was like 2,600. Here's 6%, but it was a giant number. It was over 10,000 emails, so it's a little bit lower. But still, it gives you massive amounts of people seeing your message and then possibly calling back. That last number, 1% or 091, that's my unsubscribe. Not bad, right? So as long as your email is topical and it makes sense, you're not going to get crushed out with unsubscribes. This is from our pipe drive system, and I'll talk about it in a different module. You can just see the deals that we're starting and the value of these. I'll save this for the other modules so we can go into it in depth. I want to keep this as simple as possible in here. So on the voice drop side, we split test over a dozen scripts. I can't remember exactly, 14 or 15 scripts. 3 clear winners. There's another fourth one that I'm going to include as well because it was pretty solid. These are the 3 best from our testing. So you can literally listen to them in the members area. You can copy the script. You can record them. You can have our people record them, and you can leverage these. These work like crazy. 43%, 29%, 26%. All right. Number 2 and 3. Basically, tell the realtor you're doing marketing. There's nothing deceptive. The first one is it makes it sound like you're asking about a listing, and so you have to pivot from it. For those of you that are better at sales and more confident, I'd use the first one with any tweaks. For those of you that don't want to have as much of a battle on the sales side, I would use number 2 or number 3, because then you're basically telling them that it's sales related in these 2. And the results are still sick. If you send 100 out and you get 26.75, on that last one asking about prospective buyers and sellers, it's over 25 realtors calling you back. Here's a screenshot. I like to show social proof. Here's a screenshot showing you. This is, 108 calls back. One of our members, Justin Kimball, tested this one out. And pretty crazy. This is in the Salt Lake City market. Pretty crazy how well it actually worked. So all the scripts we use, you can see all the ones, including the failures In the members area, there's a module called Client Acquisition. When you click in here, you will see them all there. And you also have this recording. Actually, it should be right below this recording by the time you see this. So you'll be able to see all the scripts, how they performed, and you'll also see the recording of this call, just kind of walking you through the strategy. So let's talk about how many realtors can you actually close. I'm going to use a voice drop as an example. If you do 1 out of 5 qualified leads, so in this case, Justin had 108. So I'm going to throw out 40 for reasons that, we'll just make up. They were bad, they didn't work, the usual series of reasons why leads that are just not good. So now we're down to 68 that are qualified. Out of that, if he closed 1 out of 5, that's 13 new deals. If a deal's about 500 a month, you can see it. It's a little over 6K a month recurring. What if he's horrible? What if he's horrible? He's not, by the way. What if he only closed 5 or 6? I think you get the gist. It's a great thing on demand. These people called on your schedule, and you only had to talk to the ones that called you back. And you're going to close some percent of them. Some of you may close more, but I don't like to use those kind of high estimates. But 1 out of 5 realistic, 1 out of 6, 7, 8 for some of you, sure. So you're going to close between 4 and 13 deals in this model, which is awesome. Because remember, I'm giving you the proposal to use. We're giving you the pricing. We're giving you everything. There's nothing held back. All right, with that said, I will see you in the fulfillment module, and I look forward to chatting soon. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Brian Anderson here, Paint by Numbers System. This is real estate, and we are talking about how to fulfill for clients. We're going to talk about the strategy and just some sample results. And I'm going to reference you to some areas in the members area where you can actually see and listen to some calls. So let's get moving. So first, what's the goal? Why are we doing this? What do realtors want? They all want the same thing. They want listings, or they want buyers that are going to sell their listings or somebody else's. That's the end of the line for any realtor. Typically, many realtors are part-time. It's either a second income stream. With several million realtors, you have the whole gamut: part-time, full-time, second job, etc. But they all want the same thing. They all want to somehow generate activity and help them sell properties, list properties, and make the commissions, that got them into the business in the first place. So when you're talking realtors, the fulfillment deliverable that you are selling them, no matter how you word it, is phone calls of people that are going to want their services, right? That's the net. So this is 100% based around our voice drops platform, 100% tested as well. No SEO, video, email. I think that plays a role later. But right now, out of the gate, all you're going to do is strategic phone calls to drive results. These end customers, homeowners or renters in the area near your realtor, will call your real estate agents directly. Very important that you use call tracking. We talk about it in another module. Just keep that in mind. You can charge on a per lead model if that's what you want. You just need to keep the leads low because you'll have a lot of them. It has to be affordable for the agents, right? Or a flat fee, some flat fee, and we'll go over it in pricing section. You can see how we did it on the proposal, and that'll be based on how many voicemails you give them and how much outbound activity. All right, so couple strategies, couple campaigns. So the campaigns that are generating phone calls can be lumped into the following categories. So we got the open house traffic, right? Realtors are either trying to drive traffic to an open house as a buyer's agent or as the open house listing agent. So then they also may want to get local realtors to attend their open house, because if they can get 200 realtors to come and check out their listing, their open house, that gives them 200 more people who may have a buyer. So they love that. So you can see the first one. And then buyers, people that may be in the market and may be interested in a home on this open house. That's great too. That's great traffic. Now we also have campaigns around first-time home buyers or renters. So in this case, we're going to create a targeted list of people that are likely to be first-time home buyers or renters, and then we're going to market to them to get them to call your agent. Another one we do is home valuation, where we talk about, being able to give you an idea of what your home's worth. I think you'll see that script in just a second. And then for those that may possibly be interested in listing their home. Market's hot, we could show you some more houses to sell, etc., right? These are the primary campaigns that our team, in-house and extended team, is selling to realtors. So, and this is kind of where they fall. Now, as we look at this, it's important to know the script is key. We've split test in-house and with our members over a dozen scripts. We actually started with like 20-something. We whittled them down, and we got the best dozen and tested them in markets all around the country. None of this is based on theory. It's all real world. Everything is proof in the pudding. What actually works the best? So let's continue. When we did this, we did over 3,000 individual drops to renters and homeowners. And we split them up amongst the scripts. We generated a lot of great leads for our test realtors, and that was a lot of fun. Let's talk about the data. You can actually see all of our test scripts in the members area under the client fulfillment module. It's probably where you're listening to this exact recording right now. So if you're listening to this recording in the client fulfillment section and not live, you should also see the scripts right there. And I took a screenshot to show you, because then what I want you to see is how similar some of them were, but the subtle nuances, word here, word there, and how it affects the callbacks. It's important. All right? All right. So let's look at some of the scripts. The winning script from an open house perspective was actually the strongest performing script of them all. And I'll read it. Hi, this is Steve Johnson with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. I'm doing an open house for a property that would be perfect for first-time home buyers. Please call me at, boom, and I'll give you the specifics. The idea is that you're going to send to renters who live around near the open house. We did 199, and we got 50 callbacks, 25% conversion, guys. And Steve's an active member of our group. He's been helping us spearhead the whole real estate angle. So very excited to share that results and congratulate him for, what an amazing script. So I'm going to give you another one. This is the one on the valuation of your home. Hi, this is Michael with Maurer Real Estate. I was calling today to see if you'd be interested in selling your home or just getting a quick estimate of what your home may be worth. Please give me a call back and ask for Michael. Thank you. You can see 15 callbacks out of 78, 19% conversion on the script. Very, very exciting. I'm going to give you another one. This is another one about if they're considering selling their home. Hi, this is Jake Miller with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. I just wanted to let you know that we just sold a home in the Rosemount area, and there are way more buyers than sellers. If you've been considering selling your home, please give me a call because we may already have a buyer. My number is this. Call now and be prepared for the market to light up after the new year. Once again, that's, there's a number. Thanks. And you would adjust the new year depending on when you do this. But very exciting. 16% conversion to homeowners with a message that basically says, I'm a realtor. Nothing held back, nothing deceptive, nothing hidden at all. Very, very, very good message. So I'm seeing a lot of people ask, what do inbound callers say when they call? Rather than play them on the call like I've done before, a lot of these calls go pretty long. So what we did is we uploaded a few sample voicemails to the resources area of the member site. So when you log in and you go to the resources section, you will see, let's see if I can find it. All right, I'm in the members area, I'm in the resources section. And it says sample fulfillment audio file. If you go here, you can listen to some live calls right here. Keep it real, right? Here's one of our tracking screenshots. This is one of Steve Johnson's calls. This is the one he had. Yes, the one we talked about, the open house one, guys. 50 callbacks. 50 callbacks. Very, very real. So let's talk about how does that translate on the fulfillment side into revenue. So in terms of possible revenue, you never know 100%, right? You got to be careful. You got to be honest. Let's assume you close 1 out of 5 qualified leads. Now, out of those 50 calls, let's say 20 we're going to rule out. I never know why, but there's always a reason, right? So we knock 50 down to 30. So now, if you say 1 out of 5, that'd be 6 deals for that realtor. And in this case, if you assume a 3% commission on a house for $175K, and I know you West Coasters are like, what? This is in the upper Midwest. I think it's probably a reasonable price. We can adjust the price for your market. That's $5,250 in commission for each deal. So if you think about it, the ROI for the agent is through the roof. 6 deals would be $30,000 of total commission generated. The realtors we're working with are extremely happy. The pricing's aggressive, and most importantly, the results are there, and that's usually what matters. Okay. Let's see. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up because I want to make sure you definitely go back to the members area. I want you to listen to the messages, like the message that we have that Steve did. I want you to listen to some of the inbound calls. I just want you to understand the whole process. So what are we doing? Once again, we're making it very, very simple. We are marketing different campaigns for realtors. And you can look at a sample proposal and you can see some of these listed there. And the whole goal of these is to generate phone calls. And when you do this and you generate your client calls, nothing else matters. That's all he or she wants. So until I see you in the next module, thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paint by Numbers Real Estate Edition. This is our pricing and pricing strategy call. We'll cover a lot of this, I imagine, during the live Q&A, but this is the base training that'll get you going. So let us begin, and we'll start talking about pricing and how you're going to price services to real estate agents. What I thought we would do is begin with a little bit of a survey from a competitive landscape standpoint and just see what other people charge. And I just picked random vendors from Google searches, and I threw in 1 or 2 that we all know. Additionally, I want to talk about what realtors want. I want to talk about the commission pay plans they're on and pricing models. Actually, I wrote 3 here, but we're going to talk about 4. 4 pricing models that you can employ. So as you would imagine, any kind of industry that has 2 million people in it, right? There are a lot of vendors trying to get a piece of that marketing pie. And so all walks of life, whether they're doing postcards, they're doing add-ons to their, what do you call the system? Add-on to their internal IDX system where they put their listings and stuff on their website. All the different kinds of tools that are out there, right? Lockbox keys. It doesn't matter. There are people trying to sell them stuff and to sell the brokers. So let's just take a look. I thought that would be most meaningful would be just to look at Zillow, Trulia. Now Zillow bought Trulia, I think a year or 2 ago, and then Realtor.com. These are all lead systems for realtors. Pricing is based on zip codes. Most areas seem to cost between $200 and $350 per month per zip code, with a 6-month minimum commitment. Now, the main variable which determines lead cost, and it can be much higher than $350, guys, is the amount of search activity. So if there's a lot of search activity, they pay more. If there's very little, they pay less. Kind of reasonable. But I wanted you to understand kind of how that model works for their, I think they call it preferred partners or something like that. But at the end of the day, they charge by zip code, and if there's more traffic, you pay more. If there's less traffic, you pay less. Easy enough. But several hundred locked in for 6 months, and it escalates from there, and that's only a single zip code. I just did page one of Google for different companies providing real estate leads. Now, here's one which is looked to be a independent lead company, Real Estate Pipeline, 100% real estate. They've got a basic package, $1,164 for 12 leads. So what I suspect these guys are doing is AdWords and then selling the leads off. It was hard to tell because their website doesn't give you a lot of information. But so 12 leads from these guys, that's 12, costs $1,164. That's their base package, and it goes up from there. This one was interesting. This is FirePoint, and this seems to be a hot trend, right? FirePoint charges $350 a month plus ad spend. So obviously they're doing PPC, and their profit, they're being very transparent, is $350. So $350 plus ad spend. So if a realtor wanted $500 of ad spend, they'd pay $850. So $850 a month lock in, and there was a minimum length on this one as well. But I had to inquire to get more details. Now this one seemed to be a big one. Bold leads. Bold leads is anywhere from $199 to $79 a month, $799 a month plus ad spend. Now they want to get you, remember the last one was $350? This one's $389 plus ad spend and an onboarding fee. So $500 budget to generate some calls is really $889 a month. Okay, for their intro pricing. And then it goes up, by the way. Let's see. And I think this is the last one I had. I thought this was ingenious. $6,000. And they basically come out and tell you everything what they do. They're going to do PPC for you. They're going to generate 480 leads for $6,000. This is Agent Locator. So I guess the big question is, what will the market support? As you can see, the market obviously supports $350 to $750 in any market, in any geographic market across the country. So just keep that in mind as we start talking more about price. I told you 4 models, not 3, when we first got started in this module this morning. So flat fee per lead, hybrid flat fee per lead, and hybrid flat fee per drop. Okay? So these are 4 different models you can customize and create. I'll go in and talk about each of them. I'm going to go into some ROI as well in here, and I'm going to do it on the flat fee side just because it's easier to do simple examples on that. And the other ones are a lot of what ifs. So let's just begin and let's go through the flat fee. Remember what we're doing before we get into this. Remember, we're looking for several $100s, $400 to $500 per agent per month in a recurring relationship. The goal is very simply to get accounts at that $400 price point for a single rep and pick up referrals. So even a small office can bring you 2 or 3 clients, with bigger offices probably generating you 10. This allows you to piece together multiple $1,000 a month deals from a single office and really build your business on turbocharge. And I suspect we'll talk about that in an advanced module that we'll do later. So this is based on one of our most successful members, and I'm saving him for the case study call, but $297 to $597 a month. This is exactly what he does in this niche, and he's highly successful. 750 voice drops per month, that's what you're giving the agent, for $297. Or there's 3 choices: $449 at 1,500 voice drops a month, and $597 is 2,500 drops per month. We'll get into the specifics. We'll talk more about the specifics. You're also going to give them homeowner and renter list creation, so they don't have to provide any names and numbers. Call tracking and reporting, script testing. You want to stack the value so they, at the minimum, choose the middle option. Let's see. Hang on a sec. What I'm going to do is go into the proposal. Okay. This is in your members area, but let me highlight this. brief minute. All right. So if you see here, option A, 750 voice drops, 3 drops per week for 2 weeks. That's 125 a day, 3 times a week. And then you give them the other stuff, the homeowner and renter list generation, the done for you ringless voicemail, etc. Right? Now option B, and I have this priced a little differently here. I moved it up to $479. 1,500. Now the tweak on the 1,500 is 3 drops per week for 4 weeks. Remember the first one was only 2 weeks. This is 4 weeks, 125 a day. Okay? And yes, as you would imagine, the final one, choice C, is 5 drops per week for 4 weeks. Basically, every day on that $5.99 plan, you have drops going out generating calls. So think about it. 2-week program, a 4-week program, and a 4-week program. And the difference is you're giving them more days per week. Pretty easy. And now another neat thing that we're doing here is when they want to buy more and they're on this first plan, additional drops are 39 cents. On the second plan, additional drops are 29 cents. And on the higher tier plan, additional drops are 23 cents. Perfect. All right. So that's kind of how it rolls out. But let's switch over and now talk about, okay, how much money can I make? And I say it doesn't matter how much you make, but it actually matters more how much you keep. I think you would agree if you thought about it. So I calculated a few ROIs for you. Before you ask, here's the formula. So it's your earnings minus the amount you invested, or in this case spent, minus the amount you invested or spent times 100. That's our formula for ROI. So let's look at that inexpensive package 1, $297. They get 750 drops. The ROI is calculated for you. So your net profit is based on the sales price minus the hard costs. I'm going to estimate, I got to assume a few things. 500 landlines, 250 cell. I put down a cost assigned to each of those, so $25. So you net $272 on a done-for-you service with 1,088% ROI. Guys, that's as good as it gets. 1,000% ROI. 272 net profit, 100% done for you. All right, this ROI is using voice drops. I mean, you can do it other ways and your ROI won't be as good because you'll have some other costs. But let's see. Number 2. This is 1,500, and you can see I used 1,100 landlines, 400 cell for the end consumers. You can see the hard costs that I projected. $51 total. You're going to net $398 out of that $449. ROI of 780%. Now that is pretty good. 400 net profit, basically, every client you sign up without doing any of the work. Now the final one, the bigger package, you can see the 2,500. I split them 2,500 on the landline versus cell. And the reason I do that is there's a slight different cost between the two. Landlines are a little cheaper. So $60 for landline, $22.50 for the cell. So you're talking about $82. You're netting a little over $500. Still 623% projected ROI. So as you can see, these are absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous ROI. And that is one of the reasons why this is such a lucrative market, is the ROI is just through the roof for you guys. You can generate results with small numbers of drops. You do too many, you just overwhelm them, and you got to ask yourself, was that a good idea or not? All right, moving on. The second model that you could do is like a per lead fee. You can do almost any number you want, $15 to $25, $30. I left 25 in here. Any call over 30 seconds, Common sense applies. Throw out sales calls or non-relative calls. 30 calls a month, $750 easy. Now the challenge here is if you charge too much per lead, and if the lead quality isn't extremely good, you will find that they will cut you. It's just how it goes. One thing you can do to still do a per lead model is until you dial it in on the quality, because not everybody that calls is going to be begging to list their house, right? That would be the dream. But you can lower the lead cost so that you avoid ever being cut because you're just providing value. The key is always to stack that value so they're getting immense value for their business relationship with you. So I pulled this up just to keep it real. I grabbed, this is random vendor, I don't remember the name. This is somebody selling per lead, exclusive leads like we're talking about to the real estate market. Look at the differences here. So they have a referral model where they would get 25% of the sale and you would get leads for free, but you'd have to be an agent to do that. And that's why some of our members even became agents, because it's so lucrative, the amounts of money. So if it was $20,000 in commission, they would get $5,000 for that deal under the referral plan, 25% of $20,000. But you can only do that if you're a licensed agent. Now look at the next two, pay per lead, expert, and standard. And notice at the bottom that priority is high and excess. So really, to get a regular flow of leads, you're going to be at the high category. You're looking at $64.95 and $14.95 for buyer leads. Seller leads and buyer leads. Seller leads are worth more, buyer leads are worth less. So that's an ingenious little approach. And then you see the same thing where they age them a little bit and you get them cheaper. It's just you're getting the leftovers that didn't get sold. And they're non-exclusive. They're going to sell that standard category multiple times. So 3 to 14-day-old leads are going to be $34 each, and they're going to go to multiple people. So I want you to understand, $25 doesn't seem like such a bad deal anymore, does it? Okay. And I had another shared lead one to show you. This is $6.99 a month. And you get 40 to 60 guaranteed, maybe more. They don't know how many you get. It's based on their marketing, but they project at least 40 to 60 for $6.99 a month. This helps set the bar for you on what realtors are being faced with, what they have to pay, what they're seeing from other companies, because that's going to affect what they're willing to pay you. That's at least going to help frame the conversation, I suspect. All right, and these are shared leads, by the way. All right, now we can do the hybrid flat fee per lead. Now, what's ingenious here is if you show them a $250 base price where they pay that every month, they get 15 leads and it's only $16.66 a lead. And then you can charge them $15 a lead over that. Now, the advantage of this is you're locking them in, spending at least $250 with you up front every month. And they're going to spend more because you're going to generate more leads in that. But it's an attractive lead price based upon the market that's out there, the community that sells to them. So common sense, again, if it's a non-relevant call, throw it out. Throw out sales calls that come in on the number, etc. Now, this is hybrid flat fee per lead. Another model you can employ, testing this out right now, is flat fee per call. So maybe do a $350 base price, give them some voice drops and scripts and service, and then any voice drop over $250, charge them a dime. Somebody asked if we could do it less. You could, but I wouldn't go. I personally wouldn't do it. I would charge them a dime. So if they did another 500 voice drops, right, they'd pay for that, and the price would go up. You see, so 500 voice drops more would cost them another $50, so it would cost them $400 in this place. Now this would net you more revenue than our flat fee packages It just depends on what you sell and how you want to position yourself. Some people like the lower upfront. Some people like the variable cost per lead. There's a lot of reasons to like either one of them. There's no wrong answer here. It's important that you do what fits specifically for your business. All right. I'm going to end with this. Do not attempt in the same conversation to sell these guys reputation, websites, SEO, or anything similar. Facebook, LinkedIn, email marketing, anything, okay? You got to focus on expanding the relationship. So let's say you just got a $450 a month deal, $449 from one guy, right? Wouldn't it be better to get 3 or 4 more people in his office to sign up? Because then let's say you got 4 more or 3 more, giving you a total of 4. Now you're at $2,000 a month in that office of revenue. Maybe you do a referral fee. You give them a bonus, 500 additional voice drops. It costs you pennies. And then another thing you can do is volume pricing for teams. A lot of times you'll see the ABC team, the win-win team, and you do a special price for the entire team. There's a lot of things you can do here. We're going to do some case study calls. You guys are going to love some of the training we're going to do. Some case study. We're going to dive really deep into this. We have a member case study. We're going to do an advanced pricing call. There's going to be a lot of things. Right now, what I want you to do is digest what we spoke about, and let's get this thing going. Let's get you off and running so you can be successful, because there are so many ways to incrementally add revenue in the same account or letting that one account sell for you. And I'm excited to talk more about it with you. See you soon on the next call. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me. This is Paint by Numbers Real Estate. This is our sales pipeline module where I really want to reiterate the value of an inexpensive sales pipeline tool. I don't care which one you pick. I'm going to talk about one of them, but I really think this is something you need to do. So, first, when we talk about local marketing, we talk about tracking our leads and our prospects and our deals. You have to know your numbers. And it's so blasé because so many people talk about this, yet they don't even use any tools. You got to know, how many new deals are you adding to your pipeline, right? Every month, every week, and every month. How fast do you close deals? Some of you may say, well, I hardly ever do. Well, that's a problem, so we should talk about fixing that. How big is your average deal or your ticket, right? And how often do your deals make it from the top of your sales funnel to the end? These are the kind of things you need to always know if you're going to have a healthy business. Now, I got this little image I grabbed offline. You remember way back in the day, people used to keep up with their sales activity on pieces of paper, on notepads, on any scrap, on a side of an envelope. I've done it before, right? And then you got a little slicker. You're using Evernote. You're using some kind of tool digitally to track results and conversations and stuff. And then people were using Excel or old school like ACT, ACT, if you will, back in the day. And all these tools had one goal to kind of simplify your sales forecasting and pipeline and following up with people. Well, hey, it's the end of 2016. I mean, it's December, right? This is such an easy thing to do now, and it's so cheap to really do it right. And you definitely want to buy one of the CRM, cloud-based CRMs. The one we use, it doesn't matter which one you use, the one we use is called Pipedrive. Very easy to use. I'm talking 10, 12 bucks. And you can spend more, but you don't need to. It's real slick, it's graphical, it really gives you a dashboard into how you're doing. And if you have this, you know exactly where your problem is right away. Because when you're in our PBN system, our paint by numbers system, real estate, you're going to generate a lot of activity. You're going to have a lot of people interested in working with you. And guess what? Tracking them on pieces of paper, that's not going to cut it, guys. So following up and tracking and keeping up with the numbers, you want a tool like Pipedrive. One thing I like is you can actually drag and drop somebody from different stages of your pipeline. And when you do this, it is so easy because the easier these things are to use, the more likely you are to use it. Drag and drop does not get any easier. Dashboard where you can see your wins and your losses. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get a pipeline of $1 million, 935K here. And you know what? Any of you can do it. Doesn't mean you're going to close it all. You might only get 300K, but guess what? It grows big. I do everything annually. Like if it's a $5,000 a month deal, it's 60K annually. 500 a month, that's 6K annually, and you just start stacking them up. You can see how many you win, how many you lose, etc. Best part about it for many of you, and for me too, it's not very expensive. The silver option, $10. That's if you pay yearly, or $12 if you let them bill you monthly. They make a little extra 20% hit, but $10 to $12 to shore this up, you're going to make thousands more because of a tool like this. There's many of them out there. I'm just telling you the one we use. The whole point of Paint by Numbers is reiterating exactly what we're doing so you can just plug in and follow the system. I appreciate your time on this. There's not much to tell you. I'm happy to do a call if you guys are interested. I'll ask you during the Q&A, walking through how to use it and how we use it. Just let me know. But I look forward to seeing you in the next training. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, Brian Anderson again. This is Paint by Numbers Real Estate, and right now I'm going to speak to you about invoicing and billing your new clients. This is kind of an important thing because you want to get paid. Too many people struggle with this, and let's talk about it. At the end of the day, you want to make it as easy as possible for agents to pay you, and ideally pay you on a recurring basis. So rather than billing them one-off or stopping by their office or emailing them a PayPal invoice, I suggest that you use an automated cloud-based invoicing and billing solution, right? Why automated? Why cloud-based? You want this to be as easy as possible, and you also want it to make you look professional. There's lots of them out there. I see no reason really to reinvent the wheel. FreshBooks works really well. It's easy to use for you guys. It's easy to get approved if you don't have a merchant account. Very, very easy. So at the end of the day, I would suggest you look at FreshBooks. I think I have a screen with the pricing. You can see right here, easy to customize. You can tweak this really easily. You can see that's some of our letterhead, and you can boom, fill it out, put in the amount, set it up on recurring. You can use PayPal. You can use Stripe, and I think they have something called WePay in there. So what else? Yeah, what's cool is the simplified credit card billing via Stripe. And the advantage of that is for those of you that don't have a merchant account, you can get approved within a couple days. You can also quickly make the invoice recurring bill so that your client is billed automatically every month. If there's a failure, you can follow up with a series of messages and emails from the system before you have to get involved yourself, and it will simplify the collecting of the money, because instead of having 2 and 3 clients like a lot of you have, you're going to go to 10 or 15 clients that are signed up very, very realistically. And so you're going to make it as easy as possible for you to get paid. And lastly, speaking about FreshBooks, the pricing is very easy. Most of you will be on the $25 plan. You can even start out on the $5 plan, or not $5, 5 client plan, which is $15. But honestly, once you get a client, immediately go to the plus, the $25 one, because you're going to get another client and another and another. And that's going to be the sweet spot, I suspect, for most of you. So, takeaway, do not manually send an email from PayPal trying to bill your client. Use a service like FreshBooks. Doesn't have to be FreshBooks. I'm suggesting FreshBooks because it's easy to use. All right. With that being said, I'm going to end this. Simple takeaways. I don't want to confuse it. We'll have some Q&A calls, and we'll be able to go from here. Thank you very much.